Hi, this is Mike Tetreau, First Selectman in the town of Fairfield. I wanted to take a moment and talk a little bit about what's happened with Sacred Heart and GE. Now, as we know, GE has planned to leave Fairfield for the past year or so, and what's taken place is they have now sold their property to Sacred Heart. Now, this was a private transaction with GE. They put their product out for sale. They had several bidders, one of the more publicized ones being Cleban Properties. Obviously, Sacred Heart was involved. And they chose Sacred Heart because that best met their objectives in terms of what they were trying to do. Sacred Heart has been a valuable citizen and institution in our town for a number of years, and it looks like they're growing and have plans for great future growth. So they're going to continue to add value to our community and be an important player for us. In the short term, we do have to make up for some revenue losses. Because Sacred Heart is a not-for-profit, they do not owe taxes on the properties they hold in town. Now, the impact of this will be delayed a couple years because of the revals and what tax years these things hit in. So that buys us a little bit of time. But the concern is, what's the reality? What are we going to lose? Well, the total taxes that GE was paying us were about $1.6 million. So we will not get that from Sacred Heart after a couple years. However, we also have time then to make that up. We can look at reducing expenses. We, over 2 years, will have some grand list growth to help make that up. So that's a big piece. Importantly, there's a state program called PILOT, P-I-L-O-T, Payment in Lieu of Taxes. And right now, that gives us back about 25% of the value in taxes for both Fairfield U and Sacred Heart. So if that continues, we'll get 25% of the payment from that. In addition, we have other things to look at. We're going to take a look at how we can grow non-tax revenue in addition to what we're doing currently. And I'm also talking with Sacred Heart about how we can work with them in very creative ways to mitigate the impact of this. And Sacred Heart has been very responsive in looking for ways to work with the town. So we were planning on having a good partnership going forward. Any remaining balance certainly would have to be covered by some increase in taxes, but we're really trying to keep that to a minimum. We don't want this to impact our citizens any more than necessary. In the long term, this could be a very positive development for our community because we have two vibrant, growing universities that will help our economy, create jobs, and be a positive influence and a reason for people to want to come to Fairfield in the future. In the short term, we're going to have to be creative in terms of how we approach this to minimize the impact from taxes. I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that, and thank you for taking time to listen.